Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about who will be the quarterback of the future for the Washington football team. I'll go over 5+ options, including players in the next year's draft, also players in free agency, and evaluating any possible options on our roster right now. So if you guys are new, subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video, and make sure you guys check out House of Hoodies. Use code Pedro for 15% off your purchase. So as you guys just saw in that graphic, that's absolutely terrible. 30 different starting quarterbacks since 1993. We absolutely have to find our franchise player. So first, let's start off with possible free agency options. And number one on my list, there aren't too many guys, but number one is Cam Newton. He has familiarity with Ron Rivera. He pretty much, until this year, played his whole career under Ron Rivera from 2011 till 2019, won an MVP with Ron Rivera, and he's done pretty good this season so far. He's played in 3 games. He's completed 68% of his passes for 714 yards. His touchdown to interception ratio isn't amazing. It's 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but he's done some great things on the ground with 35 rushes for 149 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's been a beast this year, and he's going to continue to improve, and he's still playing at a very high level. Last year he didn't play great, obviously, but only played 2 games. 2018, before he got injured, he was actually playing pretty good. So he still has a lot of football ahead of him, and I think he would be a great option for us. And the best thing about Cam Newton is that we could win right away with him. Obviously, we would have to add a couple pieces around him, but if you go the route of drafting a quarterback, that's going to extend your rebuild or delay your rebuild by a couple years, and I'm sure the fans want to win now. And Cam Newton would absolutely be a decent option at the quarterback position. I really would like him, and he's obviously a free agent after this year, and we would have to pay a decent amount, but we wouldn't have to pay as much as some other quarterbacks. So that is really the only free agent option that I have out here. I would have loved to get Dak, but right now that's still up in the air, depending on how he recovers from his injury. And also Dak probably, especially before the injury, was going to cost a lot of money, but he's a great leader, a great player, and if he's fully healthy, I would also consider Dak Prescott. There's also a couple other quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Mitch Trubisky, but I think Cam Newton is by far the best option. So now on to a couple draft options that are more realistic, one that isn't, and then we'll go on to a player on this roster. So the next guy, Trey Lance, he's pretty good. The only problem with Trey Lance, actually I'll go over his stats real quick if you guys don't know. So played at North Dakota State, which is D1, but it's a lower level of D1. In 2019, he had a 67% completion percentage, 2,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he's also a huge threat in the run game. Had 1,100 yards rushing and 14 rushing touchdowns. Was an absolute beast. And the problem with him, though, like I said, lower competition, but also in 2020, he's only played 1 game, and that is the only game he is going to end up playing. It's a showcase game, and in that game, he didn't do terrible, didn't do great. 15 for 30, 50% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also had 2 rushing touchdowns. But the thing is, that's going to happen. It's rust, but you can't judge him off of that 1 game. 2019 played great, but the problem is he's not going to have played football for like 16 months once you draft him. So that is something that is a little bit of a red flag, and since he is from a lower division school, he's probably a lower competition. He might be more of a developmental guy, so you might not want to start him right away. That's one red flag, but he's very mobile. He's an accurate passer, and he's really fun to watch. Maybe I'll do a breakdown on him in the future, but I really like this kid, but he might be a little bit of a developmental guy. 6'4", 226 pounds, and yeah, he's a beast. So the next guy, this guy might scare a couple people. Justin Fields, obviously played at Ohio State, and a lot of people don't want him just because he's from Ohio State, and Dwayne didn't work out, and a lot of other Ohio State quarterbacks haven't worked out. But last year was an absolute beast. 67% completion percentage, 3,200 yards, 41 touchdown passes, and 3 interceptions. Got sacked 31 times, and he ran the ball not as big of a running threat as Trey Lance, but still rushed for 10 touchdowns, 484 yards, 3.5 yards per rush. Pretty, dual threat quarterback. Though, I get people's concerns about him being from Ohio State. The thing that's different between him, Dwayne, and other Ohio State quarterbacks is not only did he play at Georgia before this, so he's gotten different coaching, but Ryan Day wasn't the head coach when Dwayne Haskins was the quarterback. That was Urban Meyer. And Urban Meyer, he hasn't had too much success his quarterbacks haven't had too much success in the NFL. And Justin Fields did not play under Urban Meyer. That might change something, but we'll see. He still has to play this year. Their season was delayed. We'll see how he does this year. But he's also an intriguing option, and him and Trey Lance are realistic options for us because we're going to be landing. Who knows how this season plays out, but we're going to most likely be in position for both of those guys, or at least one of those guys. So those are the three first options. The next guy, this one is not realistic at all. I know a lot of you guys think we're going to finish 1-15, 2-14, 3-13. I still think we're going to win a couple more games of that, maybe 4, 5, 6 wins. But even if we win 2 games, the Jets still exist. The Jets are either going to go 0-16 or 1-15, and they have the tiebreaker over us for that number 1 overall pick. So it is very doubtful that we end up getting into position to draft Trevor Lawrence. But if you guys want to look at his stats, you already know the deal with Trevor Lawrence. He's a beast. 72% completion percentage this year so far. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. Last year, 36 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's probably the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. That's what a lot of people are saying. Maybe even before Andrew Luck. So he's an absolute beast. We'll see what ends up happening with him, but I really think whoever has that number 1 overall pick is going to draft Trevor Lawrence. He's just too good of a player, 6'6", 220 pounds. Like I said, an absolute beast. I just don't see anyone passing up on him, and I just don't think we're going to also be in the position to be able to draft Trevor Lawrence. He's going to go number 1 no matter what. Even if a team like the Jets get the number 1 overall pick, I see them drafting Trevor Lawrence and probably dealing Sam Darnold. But even if they don't draft Trevor Lawrence, they're going to trade out of that number 1 and someone else is going to get that pick and draft Trevor Lawrence. So it's a little bit unrealistic, and I don't see us giving up a lot of draft capital to move up in the draft. Even if we have the 5th overall pick, that's still going to cost a lot to move up. So the next player, this is the last player, and not someone that I necessarily want to be our quarterback of the future, but it is a possible option, or at least for the next year or so. We'll see how he ends up playing. Last year he had stretches where he looked like a decent to good NFL starting quarterback, and then he had stretches where he looked like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. And yesterday, he didn't play awful. 69% completion percentage, threw for 74 yards, had a passer rating of 83.5, and a quarterback rating of 70, so that's not bad at all. We'll see how he continues to grow. Last year was really like his rookie season, so maybe he continues to grow and becomes a decent quarterback, but still, even if he does, I don't see him being our quarterback of the future. Maybe he could be a bridge quarterback. Maybe he starts for next year and we let our draft pick grow under him, possibly Alex Smith, but I don't see Kyle Allen being our future quarterback, but you absolutely never know, and we'll see how he responds. We will see how he responds. So those are the 5. There's obviously a couple other options in the draft, in free agency. In the draft, you got Kyle Trask, some other guys, and there's obviously going to be some players that come up in trade rumors. Sam Darnold, if the Jets want to move on from him, maybe even Derek Carr. I have no idea. We'll see how it plays out, but for now, it looks like definitely the quarterback of the future is not on this roster, but my number 1 player, again, like I said, is Cam Newton, just because we can win now with Cam Newton. We can't win now with Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and most likely Kyle Allen. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video, and remember, check out House of Hoodies. Peace.